What's going on, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Let's get right into it, man. You see the title. I wanted to talk Claressa Shields today. A couple weeks ago, she signed with Sky Sports. And I heard the news. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I get it. You know, you want to expand, especially in an area, out there in the UK where boxing fans are heavy on boxing. They're not like American boxing fans. There are bigger boxing fans out there. They are more willing to support their fighters than we are here in America. And here we have all these other sports that are just much more popular. Even MMA at this point, it feels like, MMA is just getting bigger and bigger, and it's just consistent, more consistent than boxing is. But I understand the move. But also it's like, okay, well, for your American fan base, the people that are here watching you already, are we going to have access to watching you fight now that you're going to be fighting on Sky Sports? Sky Sports, they're not American. They're not an American network, okay? Some other networks that are here in America, like The Zone, might pick up some of the fights from Sky Sports, but we don't get them all. So I figure maybe, you know what? She feels like, my fan base are going to follow me wherever I go. So wherever I go, they're going to want to see my fights. If you're a fan of me, you're going to want to support your fights whatever way as possible. I get it. But she wants to expand, which is cool. I have no problems with that. But this is the thing. Savannah Marshall is like her rival at this point. A lot of people want to see Claressa fight Savannah Marshall. I want to see Claressa fight Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall has about the same amount of professional fights. They fought each other in the amateurs. Savannah beat her just about 10 years ago. All right, Claressa was able to win 2 gold medals as an amateur. Go pro right away, started winning titles in different divisions, holding titles in different divisions simultaneously, becoming undisputed, doing some really great things, whereas Savannah Marshall, outside of the fact that I know that Claressa lost to her when she was 17 years old, hasn't really accomplished much. And she hasn't fought any good fighters as a pro. They have the same amount of fights. Claressa has 11 professional fights. Savannah has 10. But Savannah's level of opposition is terrible compared to Claressa. Claressa is fighting the very best out there. I remember Christina Hammer was one person that people really wanted to see her fight. People wanted that. Similar to like Savannah Marshall right now. But I read these comments, right? And I'm just saying, this is boxing fans. This is how boxing fans work, right? I'm reading these comments, and not just one video, but countless videos. And this is nothing new. This has been for years. I don't always agree with what Claressa says in her interviews. We'll get more to that. I don't always agree with her. All right. But, I read people leaving comments talking about everything but her and her skills in the ring. I read comments about the way she talks, what wig she's wearing, what color wig she's wearing, how just overall, in general, her appearance, what she looks like. Disrespectful, disgusting comments I'm reading about everything but her skill set and her accomplishments. In fact, people are making it seem like she has to go and challenge Savannah Marshall in order to gain their respect. These are what fans are saying, right? There's a large amount of people that are saying this. This is not me just pulling something up. Like, no, this has been going on. Savannah beat her on the amateurs. So? So what? What are we saying here? Are you guys watching women's boxing based on what women look like their appearance? Is that the reason why you're watching this sport? I mean, there are models out there. There's even porn out there. Are you watching women's boxing to see how good someone look? I mean, if that's what you were doing, that's fine. But if you're just totally just talking about her appearance, I'm looking at it like, well, maybe it's because you got nothing else to talk about. Because she keeps winning, but you guys keep finding excuses not to like her or to bring her down. Because she's fighting and she's winning and she's doing great things. If you think Katie's doing it better, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I like Katie Taylor too. Whatever one you have over the other, I have it 1A and 1B. It's very debatable on who you think is the better fighter pound for pound. But I think we can all agree that those are the two pound for pound best fighters in the world. Whatever way you got it. They're both doing great things. But even if you have Claressa as number 2, where does Savannah Marshall fits in all of this? She's not doing anything that these two girls are doing. So why are a lot of you making it seem like Claressa needs to prove herself by fighting Savannah Marshall? Well, guess what? She just signed with Sky Sports. And she's en route to fight Savannah Marshall. She's not running from the challenge. She's never ran from any challenge. This is why I don't understand why people criticize her so much. Again, you might not like what she says in interviews. You might not be attracted to her. She's a married woman. You don't have to be attracted to her. You don't have to be. But why are you singling her out? Her specifically. Just her. No one else. Katie doesn't get it. Savannah Marshall doesn't get it. I read the comments of their videos and their interviews. No one's talking about how they look. What's going on here? So look, I'm here for boxing. For real. I'm here for boxing. I watch Claressa Shields because I want to see her fight. I'm not watching her for anything else. Same for Savannah Marshall, Katie Taylor, every single one of them. Let's keep it boxing. Let's do that. Do me that favor. Because she's doing great things, and all I see is people ripping her. But they can't rip her on the skills. They got to rip her for everything else. Now, if you're a biased British fan, if you're biased and you're going with Savannah when they fight because you going with the hometown, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going for Claressa Shields. I hope Claressa Shields win. But let's not act like Savannah's doing anything on a level as a Claressa Shields or even as a Katie Taylor. She's not that. She hasn't proven anything. You guys will sit here and discredit Caleb Plant's resume for fighting a Vincent Feigenboots and a Mike Lee like I have. Khaled Truax, I have. All right? Because we're comparing him to Canelo. There's levels. Savannah Marshall is fighting the same level as people that Caleb Plant fought. As far as, not even, you know what? She's fighting worse. She's fighting worse. Where are they finding the people that she's been facing? Where are they finding them? Look it up. But you guys are going to make it seem like Claressa needs to chase her? Nah. She's doing it because she wants to be great. But Savannah Marshall, if it wasn't for the fact that she beat Claressa Shields when she was 17 years old, there would be no Savannah Marshall. You guys wouldn't give a damn about her because Claressa already has beaten people that's way more accomplished than Savannah Marshall. So what sets her apart from anybody else? Because of an amateur fight? So what? It was a decade ago. She wasn't a better amateur, and she's damn sure not the better professional. And I feel like I have to say it because nobody's really saying it. I want to see the fight, but some of you guys are taking it too far, and you're being really disrespectful while you're doing it. Now, as far as here in America, the lack of I guess, fame and promotion. At the end, I'm a believer that when it comes to promotion, yes, a network do got a promoter. They have to invest in you. The more money the more they push you to the public, the more views you're gonna have. But how interested are people into this sport here in America, especially for the women? How invested are they? Because the WNBA been around for a long time, and they're upset with the same thing. But I always say this in every video that I'm addressing this thing. Well, why aren't women supporting the boxers, the basketball players? Why aren't women supporting them? Why are they going to the men's fights? Why are they going to the men's games? I've been to a WNBA game before. There was no one there. And there was more men, a whole lot more men there than women. Same with boxing. There are men that push the women's boxing harder. Because we love boxing. It is what it is. So I don't necessarily just believe that it's just promotion. Or it's because you're a woman or because you're black. Simone Biles, she gets more attention just backing out of a sport. Naomi Osaka, who's black as well, she backs out of a sport. She doesn't compete, and she's getting more press than Claressa has ever gotten. You know why? Because people have more interest in the Olympics and gymnastics and tennis. You know, because of the Venus sisters, you know, they people are more interested in that. Same thing with Sha'Carri Richardson, the runner. She got more press by getting caught up for testing positive for marijuana. Because more people are interested in people running. Boxing is just not that popular. It's not. I hate to say it, but it's not. More women needs to support boxing. What Claressa is doing is amazing. It's just that it's not, you can't just blame it on the fact that she's a woman, because in other sports where women compete, they're getting more recognition than Claressa Shields. Yeah, the promotion may be better. Maybe you could do a little better, but how far can you go with it? You know? How much are people willing to pay to see you fight? Deontay Wilder, people are willing to pay hundreds, if not in thousands, to watch him fight. Are people willing to pay that for Claressa Shields? Claressa Shields is much more accomplished as a boxer than Deontay Wilder. But when it comes to Wilder, people are willing to pay. How much did people pay to see him fight Fury? No, Savannah Marshall as a women's boxing fight is top level. But are people willing to pay thousands and tens of thousands to sit in the front row of your fight? No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. So we have to be realistic when it comes to that. But I also feel like people are being very disrespectful and unfair to her. And I feel like no matter what she do, people already made their mind up. We're not going to support her no matter what she do. If she beats Savannah Marshall, you guys are going to find something else to criticize her for. And it probably is going to have to do with something that doesn't involve her fighting. Because that's all I see now. Let's talk about her wig color. Let's talk about the way she talk. You don't like the way she talk. You guys are going to criticize her as long as she keeps winning. That's the truth. Honestly, and the reason why I made this video like this, because, well, first of all, I don't feel like anyone's saying it. And second, because if I could just change the perception of her with one person, I'm cool with that. You know, but if you are one of those people, and you know, if you're watching this video, if you're one of those people that's sitting there leaving these disgusting comments about her, stop it. Knock it off. Are you here for boxing? This is not Instagram with one of these IG models. You leaving comment like, she's a 3-division champion, undisputed, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. What are you guys talking about? What are we talking about here? All right. Anyway, I'm out. I'll see you guys on the next one.